Egyptian sources say that they are brokering a truce between Israel and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group, and that the fighting is expected to stop soon. The sources have said that Israel has agreed to the truce, while sources in PIG have claimed that truce talks are currently underway. Israeli forces and the PIG have exchanged rocket fire for 3 days in a row. The violence has left at least 31 dead, including 6 children and 2 leaders of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group. Israel launched the operation they call Breaking Dawn on August 5th. The Israeli forces killed Taisir al-Jabari and a senior commander of the PIG. They say the strike was to preempt an attack by the PIG on August 1st. Israel had arrested senior leader Bassem al-Saadi in the West Bank city of Jenin. The PIG had put its fighters on full alert after footage showed that al-Saadi may have been hurt during the arrest. Israel first shut down crossings to the Gaza Strip or enclave before beginning airstrikes on the 5th of August. In response to the Israeli airstrikes, the PIG began firing rockets at Israel. The exchange of rockets has continued for 3 days in an overnight airstrike on Saturday. Israel killed PIG's southern Gaza commander Khaled Mansour. The PIG launched rockets at Jerusalem in response to Mansour's killing. Now, sources say that Egypt has mediated a ceasefire that is expected to begin at 8 p.m. local time. So who are the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group? It was founded in 1981 and is one of the largest Palestinian factions. The PIG is allied with Hamas, but the groups have differences. Unlike Hamas, which rules the Gaza Strip, the PIG does not contest elections. PIG also does not recognize Israel at all and calls for a violent overthrow of the Jewish state. The PIG has an armed wing called the Al-Quds Brigade. The PIG is backed by Iran. After the recent violence began, a senior leader of the PIG, Ziad al-Zakala, met with Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi on Saturday. He also met with the leader of Iran's Revolutionary Guard, Major General Hossein Salami. Iranian media reported that Salami said Israel would pay the price for killing Palestinians in Gaza. After the recent escalation of violence, international reactions have come in on expected lines. Egypt is trying to negotiate a truce between the two sides. The United Kingdom and the United States have backed Israel's right to defend itself and called for calm. The EU called for maximum restraint. Saudi Arabia, the Arab League and the Gulf Cooperation Council condemned the Israeli attacks. The violence did not reach last year's levels, where over 250 Palestinians died in an 11-day war between Israel and Hamas. Hamas and Israel have fought 4 wars since Israeli forces withdrew from Gaza in 2005. But Hamas has refrained from firing at Israel during this latest escalation. And for more on this, we are being joined by David Rosenhall from Tel Aviv. David is a political scientist, international analyst and researcher. Welcome to WION, David.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you and with all the audience.
Let me ask you this. Egypt claims that it is planning to broker a truce. Do you think any side is willing to compromise? And will these tensions that keep recurring ever have an end than just a truce?
Yeah, Egypt is, like supporting the group from the Palestinian Jihad, and Israel is trying to make a good scenario in this zone, in this area of the Middle East. So Israel is working for finish this rebellion that is common, that happen all the summer. So Egypt tries to make like an effort to help the Palestinians, but Israel is trying for the other side to recover the autonomy, the power in the region, and also to stop the terrorist attacks.
David, do you think this truce by Egypt will work?
At the end, with Egypt is, Egypt is has a peace treatment with Israel, is one of the Middle East Arab states that has relation with Israel. So the best thing is to continue in this way. So Israel, I think that gonna talk with Egypt for collaborate for the cooperation at this time of the Palestinian rebellion against Israel. So I think the scenario gonna be all right, like in the past month.
Okay, what role is Iran playing in this whole conflict? We know that the Iran Revolutionary Guard has vowed to back Palestine, but should Iran be involved in efforts to find peace, or that would be coating unnecessary problems?
Okay, Iran is the maximum sponsor of the Hamas group, of the Palestinian Jihad group, so also Hezbollah in Lebanon. So Iran wants to be like the protagonist, but in the other side of, like Israel and the States and the European Union. So Iran is more is in collaboration with states like China and Russia, for example. So the interest of Iran is clearly the destruction of the modern state of Israel.
David, finally, the Israeli army says that its military offensive in the Gaza enclave may extend over a week. What will be the possible repercussion of these actions by the forces?
I think that this military inclusion gonna have like 2 or 3 weeks, no more than 1 month, and at the end, all gonna be like in the same point, that is Israel defend like continuously about the terrorists of Palestine and all the terrorists in the zone and the area. And yes, I think that then of 2 or 3 weeks, all gonna be all right again. And I think that the best is to continue with accords, with commitments like Abraham commitments or accords that in the Trump government, Israel and Morocco or other states like Emirates signed with Israel. So I think that this is the way.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Been talking to David Rosenhall from Tel Aviv. David is a political scientist, international analyst and researcher. David, thank you for your input today on WION.
Thank you to you, and I hope to see you. We talk with you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we earlier spoke with Akram Natshe from Hebron. Natshe is a journalist, and this is what he had to say.
Whole Gaza Strip are under fire. We can say sometimes it's in Rafah, in Khan Yunis, in Gaza City, in Jabalia, in all of this area, Israel hits and Israel strikes and make airstrikes against this area, and sometimes by land fire. So we can say all of Gaza Strip is under fire. I don't think it's an accurate fire. They see all Palestinians are as target, even they are children, even they are militant, or even they are let's say from Palestinian security or Palestinian police. So Israel see the enemy is the Palestinian people. So when they are striking, anyone will be killed. They will be, this will say it's inaccurate because they are killing Palestinian. It's not, they are not concerned, they are not interested if they are children, women, or civilian.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.